Good
Good morning,
afternoon, Texas.
Good morning, Australia. How are you?
I'm good. Got up early, had freshly shaved, just especially for this.
Well, I didn't. Oh, it's good to see you this morning.
You too. You too.
Well, I think we're making progress with our little show. What do you think?
I think it's been great.
I do
Yeah, we get
too.
lots of good feedback, and
I have,
it's really nice. We like even in the last week, we've done a lot of recordings. We're putting one out each week, but we've done a lot of recordings lately, and we recorded in four continents within 2 weeks.
that's pretty awesome. That's pretty awesome. So I'm hearing a little bit of feedback that what we're doing is really, really good for the iridology community. And it's getting the word out, and that's what we want. We want every one of our iridologists to succeed.
Yeah.
We want
also to feel connected. It's about
yes, we want to be connected. Yes,
Mm.
we want that connection, but we want all of our iridologists to succeed, and we want the people that see an iridologist to succeed and to benefit from that as well. So I think it's time to spin the old imaginary globe. What do you think?
And it's landing in a place where the Pacific Ocean is blowing, the winds are coming in, and it's landing, I think it's in California.
I think you're right. Let's have our guest come on down.
Come on down.
It's Brenda General.
Yeah, the famous Brenda.
From California.
Good morning.
Good morning, Brenda. Is it morning for you?
Yeah, it's 11:30, almost lunchtime.
Oh, it's morning for both of us. Lovely.
Yeah.
Isn't that cool?
Good to have you here.
So it's afternoon for me, it's morning for her, and it's very early morning for you.
Yeah.
So Brenda, welcome to our little program. And we've got a few little questions that we'd like to ask you. So Chris, do you want to go first?
Absolutely. Brenda, can you tell me how long you've been an iridologist?
1987. I got certified by Dr. Jensen in 1987.
That's
long
a long
time.
Yeah, long time.
I can't count that high on one hand.
I can't count that high anymore.
That's 34 years.
Oh my gosh. You know, when I figured it out, when I turned 50, it was 25 years. And I thought about it. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's double my age from when I started.
Now, Brenda, you've just told us your age and you don't look anything like that.
Don't tell anybody.
We're not going to do the maths. We're not going to do the maths.
Yeah, don't tell anybody.
Not here. That's awesome. But will you tell us, was there a person that inspired you, or what moved you in the direction to study iridology?
Yes, I have a whole story. If you want to hear the whole story,
we got time. We're not going anywhere.
Oh yeah, you want to hear the whole sordid story, huh? Yeah. So I was sick. I was stressed out. I was dating. So you know how that is, the dating scene, and stressed out, and I had all kinds of digestive issues. I mean, I was at the point where, I'd go out to dinner at a restaurant, and then my gut would just blow up, and I'd have to go hide in my car and just be by myself. I was having all kinds of problems. I couldn't lay flat on my bed. My back hurt. I was breaking out in hives. I was a mess, and I had, colitis. Didn't know what it was. I didn't really know much about my body at that time. I hadn't even started studying anything, and I was dating this guy. So I guess I have to give him credit. I was dating this guy who had a friend whose girlfriend had endometriosis. And we went to this party one day and found out that she had endometriosis, and she was seeing an iridologist in Castro Valley in the Bay Area, and she was getting better. And she suggested, why don't you go see the iridologist? So it came from them. And, I didn't know anything about it. They roll and just fingers and I got all swollen. They told me to take X-Lax, which, well, you know what that does, right? That just gives you that alternating bowel issues and makes everything worse. They told me to drink milk. I was taking milk and magnesia like crazy because I had heartburn and it didn't help. Anyway, and so I made a point. I called and tried to make an appointment. He was busy. He was booked. He was completely booked. So he referred me to Chris Wickert, who I made an appointment with. And I went and saw, thinking, oh, everything's fine. Everything's great, right? There's nothing wrong with me, And I went over there and he read my eyes and told me all kinds of things, put me on supplements. And I did everything he said. I mean, everything. I was a good patient. Did everything he said. And guess what? I got better. I stopped having bowel issues. I started seeing a chiropractor, helped my back. I stopped breaking out in hives. All those things resolved. And, and then I thought, start sending a couple of my friends to him. I sent my friend Kelly to him and he helped her. And, I sent a couple other friends to him. And he helped them. And this one day I called him up just out of the blue. And I was like, how do I find out more about this iridology stuff? And he said, well, Dr. Jensen teaches, he's in California. Why don't you call down to his office down in Escondido? And, he teaches, see if you can take one of his classes. So I picked up the phone and I called, and it just so happened, I fell into this. It just so happened that he was teaching, I think this was like July. He was teaching in August. So I signed up for his beginning class thinking, I'll try it, see if I like it. And I loved it. I absolutely loved it. And so I stayed for the advanced class. I got fully certified. And the next week I started getting clients from Dr. Jensen's office. And what did you say it is? 34 years later, I'm still doing iridology. And that's how I got involved in iridology. It was because of my health and because somebody that I knew was getting such great results from an iridologist.
That is an amazing story.
That's
awesome.
Beautiful.
Yeah,
it's cool.
That is.
So,
and it's lovely when you sometimes just make a decision and it just happens. All things fall into place. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
Cool. Excellent. And Brenda, what we'd love to know what your favorite iris sign is. You've seen a lot of signs in your years, I'm sure. What's your favorite one?
Yeah, I was thinking about that. I think my favorite iris sign is contraction furrows.
Oh, wow.
Well, tell us why.
I was thinking about that because, when they look like when you go walk in the forest and you see a tree that's been cut down, and you look at the tree and you go and you count the rings to see how old that tree is. Those are really beautiful. When you look at a tree and you're counting, you see how many hundreds of years that tree is. So when I think of contraction furrows, that's what I think of. I think of the forest and I think of the trees. And, they go around and they're, sometimes they're white, sometimes they're brown, dark, and sometimes they go all the way around, sometimes they don't. And the other thing is I have lots of them in my eyes.
Is that why you're so determined?
I get to see them all the time. Yeah.
That explains why you've been with us for 34 years doing this.
Yeah, right. Right. Yeah.
Brenda, the rings of determination queen.
Yeah, right. Right. Yeah. So I think contraction furrows are my favorite iris sign.
Very good. That's awesome. Well, Brenda, we kind of play a little Q&A thing. We kind of bounce things around and questions. And if you'll pick a number between 1 and 36, I'll find that question and we'll get right down to it. Okay.
Let's see. How about lucky 13?
Lucky
Ooh,
13. Lucky 13. It's lucky for some. Let's see what it's going to bring for you today. Here it is. My iridology practice is slow to get off the ground, and I don't know what to do. Do you have some suggestions for me?
What a perfect question.
That is a good question.
That is lucky 13.
That's a good question.
My iridology practice is slow to get off the ground. Do you have any suggestion to help it? Oh, promote, 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 promote. Get out there and start telling everybody what you love. Love looking at eyeballs. You know, everybody has eyeballs, and nobody knows when they look in the mirror that they can use those to look into the body and see their genetic tendencies and, you know, what's going on. And the best thing to do, and I tell my students this, best thing to do is let all your friends know that you're looking at eyes. Let all your family know. Anybody you know, take a magnifying glass with you in your purse or your pocket and, you know, go, hey, can I look at your eyes? You know, or tell them and have a little chart with you and let them know, you know, I look at eyes. You know, you want to know what that little spot is? You know, that is the best way to promote and get a business off the ground, because once you get people interested in that, you know, then they're going to tell their friends, and then they're going to tell their friends. And it's kind of like that Brett commercial where it just kind of keeps going and going and going. And so promoting yourself, word of mouth is one of the best ways. I mean, there's lots of ways, but just getting it going and, you know, is just promoting.
That's right.
Awesome. And Brenda, you've got quite a big following on Facebook, but when you started, Facebook wasn't there. So how did you first start? Was it just the promotion?
I started with me. I just started with somebody suggested to me to start an iridology Facebook group. And I thought, okay, I didn't know anything about it. So I started it, and it was just me. And then I invited some of my clients into the group. And then, you know, when you post things, it shows up on their wall, and then their friends see it and they're curious, and then they want to come in, and, you know, and then people post pictures of their eyes, and then they're curious and they want to know what you're going to say about that. And it just kind of snowballs, and it's huge now. It's huge.
Yeah.
And so it's just kind of like just a little step-by-step process, but getting your name out there and letting people know that you're excited about, you know, about something. And, you know, and, you know, when people look at their eyes and they see a little ring or they see a spot that they've never seen before, then they want to know what that is. Then, you know, that is a really great way to help somebody and to promote what you're doing. So.
Yeah.
Excellent advice. I would say that that's what we need to do with iridology around the world. Promote, promote, promote.
Yeah.
So if you're able to watch this on YouTube or through Iridology Fusion or through Brenda's site, if you like what you saw and you like what you heard, share. Push that share button and get it out there, because we want to make iridology a household word.
Yeah. And for me, it's all about consistency. Like, you know, a lot of people start, you know, gung-ho and start posting, and then it drops off, and they might do it once a week or once a month, and that doesn't work. It's all about consistency. But also, I find that, you know, a lot of students think their message has to be perfect. They have to have the perfect photos. But you know what? Perfection is procrastination. It's the best form of procrastination. And sometimes you just need to get a photo out there and get a message out there, and the conversation will flow, rather than having the most perfect one with the best Canva border and, you know, lots of logos here and there and everywhere. Like, that's all good, but sometimes you just need to get it out there.
They actually say the best thing to do is do one thing every day. Even like you said, post a picture, just write something, or, you know, contact somebody. Just one thing every day. You want to be consistent and do one little thing. Say something that takes you 5 minutes. One thing every day.
Yeah.
And it just will grow.
You know, one of the things that I teach my students is you can look in the eye and see so many different places to go and to talk about. But if you just stick with the basics and you stick with just the eye color, let's talk about the color constitution. You can do that in 10 or 15 minutes. You can tell somebody tons of things about themselves just by the color of their eyes. So even if you don't have a magnifying tool, or if it's just right, you have to get right in front of their face and take a look, and you notice that beautiful blue lymphatic eye, or that deep, dark, rich hematogenic eye. There's so many things that you can tell them in the next 5 or 10 minutes that can absolutely help them.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's another advice, is just focus on thing, like one thing, like, rather than focus on every single sign you see, just focus on constitutions, or focus on the collarette, or just those two things alone will have a humongous benefit for people.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Good advice, guys. I love it. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
That's going to help a lot of people. Well, Brenda, thanks for stopping by and chatting with us today. We appreciate it. I think you're doing great things out in California, which is leading you to all parts of the world. You're teaching all over the world. Chris is teaching all over the world. I'm teaching all over the world. That's what it's about. So thank you for all that you do for iridology every day that you promote, and you're on that keyboard just typing away. Thank you for doing every bit of that.
Thank you for
very much,
having me. I really appreciate you having me here today, and to be able to share my story. And I appreciate both of you very much.
Thank you.
And
High fives all around, guys.
We look forward to being in a live symposium one day soon.
Yes, very, very soon.
Yeah.
All right, guys, that's a wrap.
Okay.
And so with that, I'm just going to say good rest of the morning for you, Brenda, and you, Chris, and we'll see you down the road.
Okay. See you later.
Bye.